Alrighty, today is Thursday. Been home from work for a little while. We're not going to the farmer's market this Saturday. We're going on a trip. So we're taking a Saturday off, which is good. We ain't had one off for a while, all summer actually. Since May, we've worked every Saturday. Work's been nuts. Everything's been crazy this summer. Had a pretty good summer, but it's starting to wind down. I'm getting burnt out on it. So I want to go over our water system. We collect rainwater. We do everything with rainwater. We water our garden. We do all of our plants. We do everything with rainwater. This year we've been pretty fortunate. We've had a fair bit of rain this year. So I never ran out, which I didn't last year either. Last year was a pretty dry year. We didn't run out, but I was conserving it more than what I was this year. This year we used all we needed plus some, and it didn't matter. We didn't run out. And right now I don't have it hooked up, but I want to go through and show you how we have it set up. So I'm going to spin the camera around and step you through it step by step. So right there we have gutters coming off our house, both of them. That one coming there comes down right to this is a homemade piece that I had made, and then it comes up to this gutter. We got screen on our gutter so that there's no debris goes in there. It won't even let salt through. It's so fine of a particle, and only water in it can come in them. So I got that homemade contraption where it comes together. Then I got just black pipe, and then I got it going into a hole here when I have it hooked up. Right now I got the hole covered over with that, so it does keep bugs out. We don't have any bug issues, but I do need to put something in there to get the algae out of it. It's getting pretty bad this year. So when it comes out of there, then I got it hooked up to a pump in here. Under here's a pump, just a little pump. I got that probably from Lowe's or Harbor Freight or somewhere. I'm not sure where the pump came from, but I got this. Here's what goes into it. This is my check valve. The gauge don't work, which it doesn't need to. This is just a hose we use for a garden hose. This right here fills up 2 other storage tanks if I turn it on, and this one here goes to our garden irrigation system, and I'll show you that here in a second. But right now I'm going to take you on the other side of the house and show you second stage in this system. So from there where I just was, it goes around the water hose. I just got like a 1-inch piece of plastic that goes around the other side on the back side of the house. It's not buried because we don't use it in the summer or in the winter months, so it's not buried at all. So it just lays on the surface, and we drain most of the system out in the winter, not all of it. So I'm gonna spin you around and show you this part of it. So that pump around back comes into here and dumps into this tank. So this tank here is an ICB tote, and it holds 250 gallons, which is it's full. We just filled these up not too long ago. And then it connects to another tank, another ICB tote. There's the valve. This one here's got a valve. That valve on this one here's broke. It's not even, it don't even have a flapper in it. But it fills up this tank, which this tank here is actually, it's a 330 gallon tank, what it is. This one here, it doesn't fill up all the way. It'll only let you fill it up to right at 300 gallons roughly. So from here we got 250, and here we got 300, so that's another 550. That one back on the other side, the original tank that I showed you a second ago, is actually a 1,500 gallon tank. And this here's 550 we can store in these. So that's 2,100 gallons of water just there. And then here we have a garden hose, and it just runs off gravity. There is a submersible pump in here. I cut a hole in this and put a submersible pump down in this here. Tote here is actually starting to break apart, but there is a pump down there, but it burned up a couple years ago. So then from here it just gravity feeds down to the greenhouse, and I'll show you it here. I'm going to take you down there right now and show you it. We just gravity feed it all the way down, because it's, I don't know, we're probably at the greenhouse is probably 20 foot lower, at least 15 foot lower than what it is up at the house. So it just gravity feeds, which actually feeds pretty good. And then we have, I'll show you that here in a second. I'll show you how we do it in here. It works really well. We've not had no issues with it at all. Actually, it works great. So I'm going to spin you around and show you this a little bit more detail in here. So here, this here hose right here with my hands on, it'll actually go, when we hook it up, this is how we fill it up in this tank. So this tank here, right now it's at 225, but we put up the 250 in it, and then we keep the valve shut off here, and we pump out of this tank. If you let the valve on, it'll actually overflow in the cap, or will fill over too much. And that we keep full to where that Sharpie mark is, which I think this is another 250 or 275 gallon tank in this one. So that's another 500 we can store here, with plus the 2100 that I'd already shown you. And this 500 is 2600 gallons, 2600 gallons of water. So these two tanks I have hooked up here, valve here, 2-inch PVC. Down to here, this here valve, we keep it open unless I work on the pump. So there we got a T, and actually it's starting to leak right there at that union a little bit, which is no big deal. It's about ready to start draining this for the season anyways. But this here pump's the same way as that one, that first one we showed you. It don't have quite the power that the other one did. It doesn't have quite the oomph, but we got a filter on it, because this in here is where we feed our plants in here from, and we don't want to, without this filter, it'll plug your garden hose up. So then we have it up to here in a valve, and it goes up there, across and over to the ceiling, and we got it on a reel. Let me show you that. Last year I had a T set up back there where that was, and we had it set up on a timer where it would water our mums out of that. This year we didn't do mums, so we have a reel on here up above us. So it's set up on that reel, right, and that's how we just keep it reeled up, keep it reeled out, whichever we need. And then we just got hooked to a regular old garden hose fitting, just a regular old faucet. If you don't have that filter on, then it'll plug your nozzles up. And anybody that's ever had dirty water running through the garden hose, plugs the nozzles up, it's a pain in the butt. And then we got just a valve here. We can shut that off and take this off, change heads if we want to or whatever. We have several different heads, depends on what we're doing. Would depend on what hose we would use. So that's how it's set up into the greenhouse. Works really good. It really does. We will keep those tanks pretty much full, but the pump will be unhooked in the winter because we don't heat in here until, we won't heat in the greenhouse till February. Usually late February. And in the garden I have a 4-way. I'm not going to get in the garden and show you, but I'm going to take you over here and explain it to you a little bit. So over here in the garden, the garden down below, it's just whatever the rain we get, whatever we get, is what it is. This garden here we do irrigate. If you look right there, hopefully you can see it, there's a tripod with a overhead sprinkler on it. And then I have another one all the way back here in the back corner. I don't have them turned on now because we've been getting a fair bit of rain this week. Actually, I don't know what we got this morning, but up till today, up till last evening when I got home, we got 5 inches of rain so far this week, which is a lot of rain. This year's been fairly wet, not extremely wet. We was dry in June, and after that we started getting a fair bit of rain, so it's been a pretty good year for us. I hadn't had them sprinklers turned on in, man, I don't even know when I turned them on last. It's probably been a month since I even run our irrigation system, and everything's still doing good. So she just picked a bushel of beans out of this patch. So, and I picked some watermelons out of down below, and some artichokes. Actually, we got our first artichoke. I just harvested it just a couple minutes ago. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the watering system. So if anybody has any better thoughts or any comments, please let us know. Any questions, gladly take them for you. So If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it. So please like, share with your friends. Let them know what we're doing here at DHT. And next year is going to be a big year, but I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen yet. We're going to work on the plan this winter, but things are going to change around here. Meet again. Take care and God bless.